And welcome to Monday's episode of the Trish Lynn Show. Today we are talking all about the power of niching, and this is going to be such an informative conversation because I find women do not like to if I can ever get this to work. Hello, how are you?
Good. How are you? So good to see you.
Good to see you too. I'm having a day, so just taking it as it is. Yeah, everything's just like working, and my ring light's not ring lighting. My hair wouldn't do anything, so I'm like, you know what? The
It's
energies.
Monday.
It's
It's Monday.
Monday.
It's all
The
good.
energies are so strong and so potent right now. I feel it right here. So
Just take a breath. It's
that's it. I
Monday.
just
It'll
sat
all be good.
grounding, and I'm like, this conversation is going to be so informative for so many women who struggle with actually niching down. So I'm really excited to have this conversation, and I'm just going to breathe and take it as we go. So everyone that is jumping in, thank you for joining us, and thank you for taking your time to join in our conversation today. Say hi, let us know that you're here, give us some hearts. It helps boost us in the algorithm. And Instagram just nicely kept showing me everyone who's going live right now. Apparently today is a popular time to go live.
Oh my goodness.
But thank you so much for coming on the show. I would love for you to say hi, introduce yourself, let everyone know who you are and what you do. And then we can dive into this topic. And I'm going to let you take the lead since this is like your area of focus. And I'm just going to chirp in with a lot of my inputs.
Yeah, let's do it. So thank you so much for having me. My name is Malika Malhotra. I am the brand CEO. I'm a brand strategist and a niche expert. Niching is my obsession. So excited to talk more about this. But I work with female entrepreneurs, so women who are really good at what they do. They have skills, they have an offer, they have an audience, but for some reason they still get overlooked. They're still undervalued and underpaid. And I'm sure all of us can raise our hand because we felt this. I actually call this woman the invisible expert because she is good at what she does and she wants that reputation, but for some reason she doesn't have it yet. And it's probably because of a messaging issue, a strategy issue, a niching issue. It could be a confidence and clarity issue. So those are the things I really help my clients with, is going from being a generalist and moving into the space of being a specialist, the go-to expert that people, want to work with. It's the only one that they think of when they think of your category. And so a lot of that has to do with the power of niching. So what is niching, right? People sometimes get confused. And so niching is about not being so generalized, not going all mainstream, and instead, trying to narrow your focus. Either it's your area of expertise, maybe it is your audience. Instead of serving everyone, we're kind of looking for a subset, a subgroup. It could be in terms of the technology or the platform that you're using. So any way that you can go from being super broad and super general, but getting more focused and narrow so that you do become more memorable, more findable, and more profitable.
I just want to take a pause there because I've never actually thought of what platforms you are on. I
Yes.
have never thought, and we can get so caught up and so overwhelmed in trying to be everywhere that we end up failing in, I find, quality on those platforms because we're trying to just mass produce out to everything that we're not giving the quality our audience deserves.
100%. I think niching is a lesson in quality over quantity.
Yeah.
Instead of being a Jane of all trades, instead you are actually becoming a master,
Yeah.
becoming the leader, the authority, and the expert in a certain slice. And honestly, it becomes more sustainable.
Yeah.
Let's be honest, right? We can't do all the things. We can't have all the messages, all the offers, all the audiences. You'll be on your road to burnout if
Yeah.
you decide to do that. And and it is a process. Sometimes when we're starting out, we have to be experimental. We
Yeah.
have to try all the things. But if you're at a certain point in your business where you're wondering, am I not getting good clients? Why am I not getting the referrals? Why am I burned out? It's probably because there was an opportunity for you to niche instead of trying to do all of the
Yeah.
things.
I love that. And I've never, yeah, I mean, I was the same. I was trying to, I've attempted TikTok so many times, and I'm like, I don't like this platform to be on. Like, I just don't like it. I have a love-hate relationship with Instagram, and
Right.
it's learning how to navigate what I want to navigate. And the show, I love the show. The organic reach that this show gets is amazing. So for this page, I love it. For my business page, it's very much a more hate relationship, but I still come back to this platform because I like the interaction that we get to have with it versus other platforms.
Right.
So it's really learning, one, where your people are,
Exactly.
and what do you like doing? Where do you enjoy being? Because if you don't enjoy being there, like I don't want to say I have a love-hate relationship with Facebook, but I mean, what I see on Facebook, I don't like.
Yeah, and I think it's also looking at the data, looking at where are you getting the leads and the clients, where are
Yeah,
people spending their money, looking at your offers, which one is the revenue generator, which one is collecting dust, and being more of a curator with your brand and making those CEO strategic decisions where you actually, need to decide where to put your money, where to put your
yeah.
energies.
Yeah, and what feels good for you, what's working, what's not. It's always coming back to those pieces. And then when you go even deeper, so I do a lot of content marketing. That is what my business is over on the Trish Lynn. And one thing that I love to say, when you speak to everyone, you reach no one, because I
That's right.
find so many of us are, and myself included, I've had moments where I'm like, wait a second, let's take a step back, because my content is so vague. I'm like, it's not going to reach anyone. And when you're
Exactly.
not speaking to anyone, no one knows that what you have to offer is for them.
Well, that's the thing. It's when you become more niche, then it's almost like I call it like writing a love letter to your clients because you have their pains in mind, their problems in mind. Everything is tailored to what they need, right?
Yeah,
And so now you're not just having these blanket, mainstream, generic offers, generic solutions. Now we're really having specific solutions, specialized solutions for our clients. And so the quality of work is better, the relationship is better, and then the results are
yeah,
better. So that is where the power of niching comes to play, is that we're not trying to do all of the things. We're not on a road to burnout. We're not trying to help all of the people so that we have different systems for different audiences and different offers and we're spinning out of control. Instead, it's very narrow. It's very focused. Um, and that's where you can then command premium pricing. That
yeah,
is where then you become recognized as an expert and you get the visibility opportunities of, you invited me here because I'm an expert in niching, right? So that's where the growth really happens for your business.
yeah. And it's like for me, and I love to use myself as an example because I'm walking it. Like I'm still going through the movements and doing all the things. And I was finally able to, back in the end of July when I started this show, niche down in who it is that I wanted to help, wanting to support women who have been in toxic relationships to grow their businesses online. Took a while for me to be able to get there because I had to go through the movements on my own and go through the healing. But now it's so much more potent in
Yes.
the content I'm creating, the message that I'm putting out, and the women that I'm connecting with. And that's where it's really coming in because, everyone, if anyone watching in, you want to be that person that gets tagged in Facebook
Yes.
groups for what it is that you do, right? And it happened for me a couple weeks ago. I started crying. I'm like, holy shit, this is the moment that I have been waiting for someone to, tag me as this person that can be referred to. So that means I'm making waves and I'm making movement in what it is I'm doing and where I'm going. And that is such a powerful feeling.
Yes. Once you get tagged in a Facebook group and it matches your expertise, you know that your niche is working, right?
Yeah.
That's how you know. And it's the same thing as once you get those clients that are quality clients with problems that you know you can solve and have real impact. Once you get those referrals that are spot on, once your inbox gets the opportunities that really match your passions and your skills, you know, that you want to be sharing that, then you know that you're in the right lane, that you're in the right
Yeah.
direction.
And then you get even like you're having those conversations and you're just so much more lit up every day by life because you're having the conversations that have meaning, they have impact. You know that it's where your expertise lies and how you actually get to help people versus, when you're so broad and have such a wide range on who you help, you have these for me, this is my experience, dull, boring, almost pointless conversations. So like, well, you don't actually want to help yourself. So like, why am I wasting my time
Right.
trying to give you my knowledge when you're not taking it in and you're looking for every excuse possible? And I had that happen. Actually, before I had niched down into, this area, I was supporting women in general. And that's great. And I love supporting women. And I'm not against supporting any female who wants to come into my space. But when you don't want to try and you just come up with an excuse for everything that I am, throwing at you, and I give my all in conversations because we're either going to do it together or you're not going to do it because I know that my support is still needed along the way.
Right.
And when you throw that, it brings everything down. It brings all of your energy down, and you're like, well, what's the point? Like, why I should just give up? They don't want to do the work. Why should I do the work? Why should I keep showing up every day? So when you actually get to have those empowering conversations, so good.
Yeah, it's their zone of genius, right? Where you're in that state of flow and ease and power. And, you know, I have so many people that say, well, I'm a multi-passionate. I want to do all the things, and you're putting me in a box. And the way I think about it is if I can be in this box of my zone of genius, like put me in the box. If I can be in this place where I feel like my skills and my strengths and my passions are in like this, you know, merger that's like incredible, you know, merging of all the things that I can then really get great results. Why wouldn't I want to be in that energy all of the time? Because often what happens and what I've seen with my clients and with my community is that when you do all the things, you're not good at all the
No,
things. And so you feel like a fraud or an imposter because you're doing something that you shouldn't be doing. And so I just think we all need a kind of like a reality check of really, you know, digging deep and looking at our skills, looking at our passions, looking at the problems that we can solve, looking at the problems that aren't solved in the marketplace, and really doing this audit and analysis
yeah,
instead of just trying to do all the things and please all the people.
yeah.
Instead, really look at the data, really have some of this self discovery, and you'll find the breadcrumbs that will lead you to your niche.
And it's not, and I used to feel this way too, right? Like fitting into the box. I'm like, I didn't get into entrepreneurship to fit into a box. But when you are narrowed in on who you help and how you help them and in your zone of genius, your box is so fucking big. Like when you actually sit and look at it, you're not in a box. You're getting specific on who it is that you can help, who it is you're speaking to in your content. So you can actually draw those ideal clients in because otherwise, again, you're not going to have the clients, you're not going to have the conversations, there's going to be no conversions. And like my funnel is so simple: content, conversations, sales. Like I am the simplest human being going, and I love it, and it works for me because I get to then stay in my zone of genius on how I get to support my clients. And
Yes.
a lot of people are like, well, you're just like in this little box. I'm like, no, putting myself in a box was trying to come up with a title for myself. Everyone's like, well, what's your title? Well, I don't have one because this is what I do and this is who I help, and I don't need a title to define that. For me, that was putting myself in a box. I'm like, I'm Trish, and people are going to know me for who I am and what I do, and that's how it's going to be. But you can still feel so boxed in, but really, if you look at the expansion that you get to create from in your zone of genius,
Yeah. I
you're
mean, I
not.
think you bring a good point. I think simplicity is a wonderful way to run your business because it means you're in it for the long game. We all know how complicated things can be if we start chasing those shiny objects and seeing what someone else is doing and then copying that. Simplicity and niching allows you to
Yeah.
simplify because you have less audiences that you're trying to serve. You have less offers. You have one area of expertise, and it makes you very tight into this one lane that is your power lane. And it just helps you maintain a healthy business. So, I've been an entrepreneur for over 2 decades and I've done all the things. I've really done all the things. But what I have learned on this other end of being in business for so long is that simplicity is actually the ticket to a healthy, sustainable
Yeah.
business. It is a thing that rinse and repeatable, rinse and repeatable. What can you do on that? Because that is going to help you expand your impact. That's going to help you. And it's not that it's boring, it's just simple.
Yeah.
So, I just think simplicity is overrated,
Yeah.
is underrated actually. And that we should all be striving for that because that's going to help us maintain our businesses better.
Yeah, I have nothing against, elaborate sales funnels and this and that and all of the things. They don't work for me, so I don't do them.
Right.
Right? And that's where we have to look at the data. What works, what doesn't, what feels good, what doesn't. I put an email sequence out last week to my email list leading up to the end of pre-sale for a program I'm launching. And I'm like, I'm doing this and I'm gonna call myself out on my shit live so you guys get it all. I did it because I felt like I had to do it, not because it felt good.
Right.
And
Right.
that's not cool.
Yeah.
Like I spent a couple hours sequencing out, I think it was 4 emails that went out. And that's a couple hours of my time that I don't get back, and it didn't feel good doing it.
Yeah. I actually I'm in a similar space right now because I am preparing for a launch, right, for a mastermind next year and doing all of the wait list, the warm up the wait list, the open sales card for wait list. And I just am at a point where if it doesn't feel good, I don't want to do it. So like someone's like, oh,
Yeah.
you need to do 10 emails. I'm not doing 10 emails. I don't want 10 emails sent to me. I'm going to do 4 emails and hope and make sure the content is specific to my niche.
Yeah.
Listening to their needs, relatable, right, to my niche, so that maybe having only 4 emails will be powerful as 10 emails.
Well, and if your
So,
heart is in those 4 emails,
yeah,
then yeah, it's going to be more powerful and more potent than 10 emails
yeah,
because you're actually in it. So you're not just like, oh shit, I got to do this again. And it's such a different energy when it comes to growing your business
yeah,
that it's that's how I felt. I'm like, this just like, it doesn't feel good.
yes.
What I'm doing doesn't feel good. So how can we make it feel good so that we can actually create the impact and serve the people that we are here to serve?
Yeah, and sometimes you have to rewrite the rules because I feel like there's these certain guidelines and rules that we all know. You have a certain number of email sequences, and then there's 3 emails in the last day, right? The last day email has to bombard. So I guess if it works, it works, but like let's also disrupt it and try to do things that feel good to
Exactly.
us, right?
I mean, I
So
don't open the emails. You guys, if I wasn't on my phone, I'd show you. I have about 600 emails right now on my phone because I'm like, oh, fuck this again. Oh, fuck this. I don't want to look at it.
I
I
know.
want to look at it. So then, okay, this is who I help. This is how I help them, getting very specific in that area. Well, now what feels good for me? And I've started looking at how do I like to take in information? How
Yeah.
do I like
Yes.
to buy? What am I doing? Because if I like to buy a certain way, then that's how I'm going to expect those who are coming into my world to want to buy from me.
Yep. Well, I think it comes to it's like your value system, right? You
Yeah.
have to be very clear on what you prioritize, what you value, and that is going to inform how you run your business. That is going to inform how you are representing your brand.
Yeah.
And then you're also going to want to think about how your audience, your ideal clients want to receive the information. And there's like a nice overlap that you have to kind of find in order for it to be the sweet spot.
You guys, I said my hair wasn't hairing, so I'm fixing it because it's driving me nuts. The beauty of this show. We get to just do things. This is real life behind the scenes, guys. My hair's not working, so I'm making it feel better. And these are like, I love this show because these are the pieces that I love to see. I love seeing, my funny moments and just actually getting to be real online versus all of the glitz and glam. And that's another piece that people are connecting with. They connect with who you
Yes,
are at your core. So when something doesn't feel good to you, if you're serving such a broad range of people, and that just feels like overwhelming and too much. Well, your audience feels that.
right. And I think you bring up a good point, about branding, right? It's showing personality and transparency and relatability. And in this era of AI where everything is robotic and almost it could be too perfect, right? That we are representing ourselves as real
Yeah,
people, right? Real people who might have a bad hair day, might not be having a good Monday morning. And it's a connection point. And, a lot of my clients or my community will ask, how much is too much of you in your brand? And, there's a fine balance. You want to feel that out for yourself. But I think in 2024, going to 2025, people want to buy from people.
that's
They
it.
want real stories. They want to connect with you. They know that it's a relationship. They know that if I hire a web designer, it's not cranking out a website. It is actually going to spend the time, probably for 4 months, with this person developing your online presence. So you're going to
Yeah.
want to know that person and trust her and like her, right? Or him. So I
It.
think the humanness is important in today's day and
Yeah,
age.
we're moving into, and I see two sides of this, and we're gonna have this conversation now. We're moving into people buy people before they buy things, and they want that human connection. If I'm gonna work with someone who has been in a toxic relationship, she's got to trust that, one, I know my shit, two, that I can hold and support her through everything that comes up for her. So I share a lot of my vulnerable pieces, and every day I'm still sharing more and more and more, especially through the show, because it's a great space to be able to share these pieces. But she's got to trust me to hold her for those 6 months that we are together, because I'm going to know her life inside and out so that I can help propel her forward.
Right.
And in, sharing me, and me being, I am a big part, and I'm going to say this in a way that might not make sense, but it will in a second. I am a big part of my business in reaching out to speak with people, because I have gotten countless messages of people. Friday, I got 5 in my Facebook inbox. That's why I love Facebook, but I hate it, for appointment setters. They
Hmm.
said, if you actually go look at what I do, I cannot have someone reaching out to these women. Like, I speak on a sensitive topic.
Right.
I can't have some random person reaching out trying to set appointments for me. I had someone want to set up AI bots to do the work for me, and now I can even pick out the DMs that are bots, which I can't stand. Like, social media is about being social. Yes, we have all of these tools, and I'm not against them. I am not against ChatGPT coming in and supporting
Hmm.
you, but it doesn't do the work for
Right.
you. You're still the human behind the brand. And I feel like we're losing a lot of that in the online space, and we're losing a lot of the sociability and actually building connections and being authentic in who we are and having those authentic relationships. That's why, I created the Women's Authentic
Yep.
Networking. You joined us for our very first networking event, because we are here, we're human, we thrive on connection. And there's a bunch of us who are bringing back a lot of that connection. And then there's this whole other side that's saying, well, let's automate and do this, and this. That's not going to last. I already know that, because humans thrive off actual authentic connections.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an interesting landscape that we're in.
Yeah.
Similarly, I was approached by someone who was like, do you want to create an AI clone of yourself so that you can serve more people?
Hmm.
And it was interesting. I was curious about it, but value wise, it didn't feel right for me.
Yeah.
I run my business and my brand in a way that I want people to feel seen and heard. And I want to create those really tight knit communities and have tangible impact where I can feel it, I can see it. And so if that isn't in alignment with how I want to run my brand right now, as well as like running a program that has hundreds of people. I never wanted to do
No.
that, even though every coach told me that was the way to get to six figures and beyond. But for me, it just didn't feel right. I wasn't into velocity and volume. I was into having an intimate program and building those relationships, even if it was on a small scale.
Yeah.
So it all comes down to really, trying to connect with what you
Yeah.
value most, how the mission behind your business and brand, the people that you want to serve, the expertise that you want to deliver, going back to your niche, right? And just staying true to that. I think it's hard for people, especially women, to feel like they have to repel. They want to help the world. They want to we're all people pleasers in some ways. And when you define a niche, what you're saying is, I might not be for
Yeah.
you. And I think that's okay. I
It
think
is
it's
okay.
okay to do that because you can refer someone
Yeah.
else. And I think it's okay to create a brand that is specific, that has power, that has boundaries,
Mhm.
that says that, because I think it's going to, and you know what? And the other thing is that you might be a niche now and you could evolve that niche over time. It's not to say that your niche is going to be on your tombstone. Business is organic, branding is organic, things happen, technology comes, the world
Yeah.
changes, like things are always going to change. But I think niching is, if you're just curious about it and just think about how can you empower your brand so that it is a little bit more focused and narrow, and how will that affect your business in the long term?
Yeah.
I think that's the first right step.
Yeah. And I feel like it's so important, especially when you're first starting out, because you need to become known. If people don't know who you are, they're not going to know who you are. If you don't have, focus in on your zone of genius. Where do you excel? What do you excel at?
Yeah,
And who do you excel at helping? Because then that's how you get to become known. And then once you are known, yes, you can open it up a little bit more
yeah,
and become
yeah.
known even more. But it's that really initial focus on, this is what I do, this is who I help, and this is how I help them, and I'm really fucking good at
It's
it. So let's
hard.
keep going.
The confidence and the clarity, though, in the beginning
So
isn't
hard.
always there. I
Yeah.
do think it takes about 1 or 2 years to get to that point, because you do need the data, so do need to try the different things.
Yeah.
But you will reach a point where there's frustration that's starting, or
Yeah.
plateauing happens, or the reputation and recognition isn't following
Yeah.
what your skill set is. And that's where I always find, as a turning point, that's when you need to be like, okay, I need to relook at this. I might need to actually say, I'm an expert in this, right? Like, women cannot do that. That is so hard for them to
Yeah.
actually vocalize that I'm a specialist in this. They're like, but what if someone else has more, time or a different degree? Doesn't matter. You have experience. You probably have personal, professional experience. You probably already have a framework or a formula. You just haven't branded it yet. You've
Yeah.
probably helped hundreds of clients already and have the results and the evidence. So why aren't you saying then you are the expert?
This was me. I had hit back in about July. That's when I really got so focused in on who I help, because I had hit that wall. I'm like, oh my God, I've been told I should be having like I'm good at what I do. I know I'm good at what I do. I know how I help people, but I was still holding back in the pieces that I wanted to share. And in doing that, I wasn't being seen.
That's right.
And when you do hold back from the things you truly, oh, I'm hitting a whole bunch of buttons here, from the things you truly want to say and the things you truly want to do, you stay really small. And being able to actually open up and share those things has just, it's catapulted the trajectory of my business, because there is no fear in owning what I do.
Yeah. I think people think when you niche, you're going small, so you're playing
Yeah.
small. When when in reality, you're going small, but you're playing bigger, because that market is become smaller, so your impact becomes more
bigger.
expensive.
And
So you have
it's
to just change your way of looking at that.
yeah, and it's incredible the amount of people, I was saying similar things, but my content wasn't very specific to the women that I'm helping now. And in just shifting a few words, shifting a bit of my messaging to truly reflect what it is I want to say, I am getting so many messages of, how impactful what I'm doing is. I
That's
had a
amazing.
lady come in and say, you're revolutionizing a movement. I'm like, whoa, what? And
But
like
how
that,
good that must feel,
it
you know?
it
Like,
stopped me in my tracks. Is like I never even thought about it that way. I'm just sharing my truth and my experiences and how I know it affected my business. And then, bringing in my content marketing expertise and moving forward, helping with all the things. And I feel like I'm a good example to share this because I was so broad for so long because I didn't have the confidence in myself to actually narrow in on who it is I wanted to help because of the fear of the repercussions of what if what happens when I start sharing.
right, right. And it's hard. It's hard to figure out your niche on your
Yeah.
own sometimes because you don't know, is this a viable niche? Is this really optimizing my skills and my strengths? Am I going too micro? So there are a lot of questions that come up in terms of really defining the right niche for yourself. And that's where, you know, having a community of people that you can talk to, or
Yeah.
business
So
besties,
important.
or a mentor or a coach to help see the things that you cannot see
Yeah.
to guide you in the right direction.
Yeah. I didn't do it on my own. I had someone call me out on it. She's like, why aren't you talking about this? Because
Yeah.
and we don't. We're not meant to do it on our own. We're meant to have that support and have those people behind us. I've worked with countless coaches and mentors, invested in so many programs, and it took the one person calling me out to be like, "Oh shit, this is where I'm supposed to be." And deep down, I know this is where I'm supposed to be. I'm just holding myself back from actually doing it.
Yeah.
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 So
Awesome.
yeah. So this has been such a great conversation. Niche I'm trying to think of how to word what I want to say because it's here, just not formulating in a way that's going to make sense. Niching is such an important piece so that you can create the impact that you are here to create and do the things that you are here to do and serve the people that you are here to serve. And I know that it's not my area of expertise, so I'm going to let you plug yourself right now with what you have coming out because that's the beauty of the show.
Yeah, well, thank you. And I think you're right. Niching is about positioning yourself to win, really, to win, the minds of your customers, your prospects, to win over a competitor. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean it in like the best way for your brand to really be top of mind, the only and obvious choice. So what I do with my clients is I help them really figure out what is that strategy, what is that messaging, what is that niche that they should be pursuing so that they can make more money, they can get more visibility, they can get clients easier. They don't have to be on social media 24/7, right? Or lowering their prices. And so I offer a program called the Brand Breakthrough Mastermind. It is a 4-month container. Like I mentioned, I don't have volume programs. I really only keep about 15 to 16 women in it. And I'm like your brand expert in your back pocket. I treat your business like my business. And we do monthly calls, like most coaching programs, where we have hot seats and Q&A. But what's really fun about this program is we start off with the sprint, which is 5 days of training. So when you start a program, you're like raring to go. And
Yeah.
so what I've done is I've done like a full week of live trainings, Q&As. So everyone's on the same page of like learning the fundamentals of how to build a powerful brand, how to find that niche, how to master your message. And then of course we have the monthly calls. We have office hours and a Slack channel where you can submit an asset. It could be a brand statement. It could be, look at my sales page, and I provide feedback. And then something new that I'm creating, which I'm really excited about it. We spoke about AI, but I have created some chat GPTs, which is going to make the brand strategy process even easier. So with a custom chat GPT, it's going to allow you to kind of brain dump certain things about your business. But with my frameworks that are going to be in the back end, it will help you sort of produce your mission statement, your vision statement, your position statement in much easier fashion.
Yeah.
Because some of that work is really hard, right? And sometimes you
Yeah.
just want a starting point. And so super excited to be developing this chat GPT that will be part of my program. And so it's going to launch in January. So if you're looking to start 2025 strong, would love for you to DM me,
Yeah.
follow me. Let's have a conversation.
I love that. And I am a big fan of working smarter, not harder. So having the supportive chat GPT is incredible because it doesn't have to take away from everything else that you are creating, but it can give you that support to, just get things out like that much
Yes.
faster. Yeah.
And it's so helpful. And if anyone who's watching today wants to get on my wait list for this, the wait list is going to have $1,000 off the program only during like when the wait
Bonus.
list opens.
Yeah.
So DM me and ask because I will send you the link because I don't think we can share links here. But
No, I'm gonna post your handle in the caption though,
perfect.
so everyone can reach out to you. This is amazing.
Yeah. Thank you so much for this opportunity to share about niching. I'm so
Yeah.
obsessed with it. And I just hope your audience has a curious mind to just think about how can this work for my business?
Yeah.
How can I make 2025 even better?
I love this. Thank you so much for coming on. I am so glad we met because, one thing that I'm going to leave the audience with this because it really just stuck out to me when you said it is I take your business as my business. And I am the exact same way. And I love that because your success is my success. And together, we all get to succeed and create the things that we're creating. And I fucking love it. So thank you. Thank you so much for coming on the show today. I've truly enjoyed this conversation. And I hope you guys find the value that's here, all those little nuggets that are sprinkled through. And if you do have any questions, as always, drop them in the comments. Become a part of the conversation. If you think we're wrong about something, this is my favorite part. If you think we're wrong about something, let us know. Like, I love these controversial conversations where we get to see everyone's perception of what it is that we're talking about. So join in the conversation and we will definitely reply to you. And if you're interested in the mastermind, I'm going to drop Malika's handle here in the caption and you can connect with her there.
Thank you so much. This was amazing. I'm
Thank,
so grateful.
thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.